don't.
You guys were picked next to last
I know.
in the ACC preseason poll. One, are you surprised, and what's your reaction?
Not surprised. We earned that. Last time we stepped on the field in an ACC game, we did not do our part. So not surprised. Obviously, we got a lot of work to do. We believe that we can finish better than that. This is the preseason. Told the guys, don't worry about what people are saying in the preseason. All that matters is what they're saying at the end of the season. And today was the start of us making our case for that. So all we can do is focus on what we can control. Okay, and what we can control is what we think, what we believe, and then come out here every single day with purpose to be able to bring that to life.
Is there anything you can do during training camp in an effort to flip some of those close losses you guys had last year? I think it was 5 by 7 points or fewer. The things you can work into practice to try to flip those games?
Oh yeah, I mean it starts with finishing every single rep. And playing and taking every single rep like it's a game, having a game mentality, and then as we progress through the course of practice, understanding what our plan to win is, getting off to a fast start, winning the middle 8, and then finishing in the fourth quarter. So that's really how you flip it. But to me it all comes down to belief too. And I think that the harder you practice, the more intentional you are, the more detail-oriented you are in practice, the more you're going to have success, which is going to build the confidence. So when those opportunities arise, right, you have the confidence to go make the play, and you're not hoping that the other team doesn't make the play.
After how much is that talked about amongst staff and amongst the team?
It came out today. Today will be the only day that we even reference it. Our plan is to go down in the submarine, so to speak, and just focus on what we can control, focus on our process, and then we get 12 Saturdays. That's what matters. We get 12 Saturdays, and right now, every year when you look at it, they get it wrong. Right? There's always teams that are picked to finish high that don't finish high. There's always teams that are picked to finish low that don't finish low. So we got 25 practices and 12 Saturdays, and then all the days in between to do something about it. And that's really all that was said today.
Tony, after a spring where you never had the top 5 linemen together, it was nice to look out today, O-linemen, and see that group back on the field.
Yeah, not just 5, but to have more than one unit, where you feel like you can go out and practice and it's competitive, right? So it's really good, and I know we're returning those 5 guys that started games for us, but it's good to see Jimmy Chris get back in the fold with us, and then Charlie's a year older, and Houston's now a year older, so we just got more depth, and adding Ethan Sipe is big for us, and I hate that Drake's going to be down for a little while, but optimistic that he'll come back at some point this season. So just to see that group is looking like a full group, with depth that can go out day in and day out and push each other to compete, because we're going to need more than just 5 to be able to get to where we want to go.
There are a couple guys with crutches,
yeah.
sideline. Any long-term injuries?
Yeah, so Mekhi Buchanan will be out for the season. Had hip surgery a couple weeks ago. He'll be down. Tristan Ward, same way, had hip surgery. Stevie Bracey, 2 or 3 days ago, just doing some extra work, meniscus, so he may be down for 4 or 5 months. Noah Hartsoe, obviously the ACL spring game, so we know about him. Those are the long-term ones for right now. Hopeful that Drake, we're including Drake in everything that we're doing, knowing that maybe sometime in October, in November, we'll have a chance to have him back. Andrew Williams will be back off of his knee. Joe Holland will be back at some point, we believe, this season. So the long-term ones are Mekhi, Stevie, Tristan, and Noah Hartsoe. James Jackson had a cleanup with his. That's real more precautionary, getting him back. We anticipate, sometime next week we'll have him back in the fold. Just being smart with that. He's played a lot of football. He's one of those guys you got to protect him from himself, right? And but he did have a scope in the summer. It's probably about 3 or 4 weeks out now.
As you look at kind of where you are right now, a month from now, how many starters or guys do you feel confident in that are going to be in that lineup on day one?
Oh man, it's hard to say today, right? Because everybody's competing, and nobody's job is safe, and that's the mindset that we have to have. And as we get closer to that first game, about a week and a half out, then we'll start to really identify that. But right now, we're letting them all roll. Like with the quarterbacks, both of them are getting first-team reps. We're letting the second group of quarterbacks compete. Same thing with the offensive line. We're letting some of the younger guys get some first-team reps. So everybody's battling right now. So it's hard to say where we'll be. And I don't want these guys to have the mindset that jobs are secure right now. Because the only way we're going to get to where we'll go is that we have competitive practices. And to have competitive practices, the guys got to know that they're competing. And that's what they're doing.
Hey, Coach, how are you first and foremost?
I'm doing well. Good to see you. Sorry about my voice.
You're fine. Just overall, how exciting was it? I know you had the rain, you had to go in and out,
Yeah.
you had to deal with all the stuff. But I mean, that's basically what happens in practice anyway. But what was the overall feeling to see your guys out
Yeah,
there?
it was just fun to finally get on the grass. Man, this has been a fun group to be around. They showed up every day with the right mindset. They've had a great off season. Their bodies look great. Shout out to the strength staff and the nutrition staff and sports med and all those folks behind the scenes that really do the bulk of the work in the summer because of how the NCAA rules are structured, where the coaches, we don't get as much access. So you're really counting on strength and conditioning, nutrition, sports med, equipment to be the drivers of your culture during the summer months, and they did a great job. The guys were excited. They started off with great energy. I thought the intensity was good. Obviously, first practice, and as you get towards the end of practice, some guys, I told them, I said, some of y'all practiced in the locker room before you ever got here because they're so anxious and so excited. But I'm anxious to see tomorrow, can they move past that, manage the day. I mean, it's a long day during camp. We're up with walkthroughs and weights at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we don't hit the practice field until 4 o'clock. Right, so they got to manage themselves the right way, and then tonight is a quick turnaround because we're right back here at 8 o'clock in the morning. So they got to take care of their body, they got to eat, they got to sleep, and we're just going to do that for 3 weeks straight. It's awesome. You got to love it. As football guys, this is when you build your team. But it was fun to get out and see the guys move around, kind of see what they've been working on this summer. And now we're going to really test them because tomorrow's more installs. So pretty much every day this week and most of next week's going to be new install that they got to manage. We're in football camp, and I'm excited to really, in my opinion, this is really the first year of having a true football camp, barring all of the things that we've had to deal with the past 2 summers. So I want to see how they respond and how they handle it. And the new building is awesome too, because it creates the shout out to the donors, former players, VAF, everybody, Carter Williams, everybody that contributed to that. President Ryan, Robert and Molly Hardy, because it just creates a space for us to have everything that we need to really use this time to develop team.
Banker is getting a ton of preseason
Yeah.
attention. What makes him so special, and what would you like to see him take his game?
Yeah, so Jonas is a guy that's put in a lot of work, and excited for him too, because this is really his first off season too. His last 2 off seasons, he's been coming off of injuries, so he was able to stay healthy all off season, and he earned it. I mean, I think he was second in the country in tackles or something like that. So he earned everything that everybody's saying about him. But man, he's really embracing his leadership. And he's becoming a student of the game. And the area that I want to see him improve for us, and then also for an opportunity at the next level, is just ability to go out there and play in man coverage, and be able to go and lock somebody down. Because we know that he can play back deep. He's got the speed to go from hash to hash. We know he'll run the alley. He's not afraid to come down in the box. And his body looks great. He's like 212 pounds. He's rocked up. Now I just want to see him be able to, in certain situations, come down into the boundary, and whether it's a tight end or a back or even a slot receiver, right, be able to eliminate that matchup.
We talked about the OL earlier. What steps has Blake Steen took last year? Coach was saying that he didn't know if Blake Steen would even make the field last year.
That's right. So the first thing is just his confidence is at a whole new level. I mean, his body looks a whole lot better, this year as opposed to last year. So he's really invested in his nutrition. His weight is down. He's in the 320s, which is good for him. But the biggest thing is just his confidence, right? His confidence, and then also trusting the guys around him and really buying into the group and understanding that the group is going to make him better, and not trying to be his own guy doing his own thing, but really investing in the process, investing in the group. So with that, the investment, the changing of his body, and then just his confidence overall is giving him a chance to make his stake for that spot at right tackle.
We're going to take a
Before
last
you had
question from Mike
some
and Chris.
things at the linebacker position, kind of a role was Dorian Jones going to play, and how important?
Yeah, he was going to come in and compete. It's a long season. and to play. And linebackers, man, they're like running backs. They got a physical job. And so to think that you're going to make it through with two guys or one at each position for the entire season. So we brought him in to compete with Stevie, compete with James, compete with Cam. And give us some more depth, add depth on special teams. He's an experienced guy that's played in some big football games. He started games at the Power 5 level. So really, we brought him in to go compete and see can we up the level of competition, from top to bottom. And I hate it for Stevie because I think he was going to make Stevie better. But we're gonna push Stevie as hard as we can to get him back. But it looks like it's going to be hard pressed for the season because it's a 5-month recovery on that meniscus.
We're going to take a last question from Chris, and then Patrick's got players for you.
With the analyst being able to help in practice now, one, how did that change things? And two, do you think that can help with special teams in particular?
That's probably going to be the instant, opportunity for improvement is because now we got more eyes. Right? So when you're building your special teams, you think about it, your offensive line coach, right, and one of your D-line coaches, they're going to coach field goal, block, right? And then most of those body types are not on special teams, so they need to be with their group, getting extra work. So now what you have is you have extra eyes so that every position is being coached, right, when we're preparing. And so guys will get instant feedback, right, to be able to improve. So that's the first area. And then today, I thought it was a good first day. I got a bunch of notes, and we'll talk about it as a staff. And really, it's going to take, a practice or two for everybody to get organized. I know it's easy when we sit down and we say, this is what we're doing on paper. But then when I get out there and we're a little bit behind schedule and I make a change, then they all got to be ready to adjust, right? So we got to talk through those type of things. But special teams-wise, I anticipate it'll make the biggest impact right away. And then also, too, on game day, it's going to help us, just from the management of the game, because now we get back the headsets that we lost during the game because they couldn't communicate because of the old rules.